Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to draft a built-up neckline from scratch. So do stay tuned as I'll be sharing useful tips for a neatly done high neck collar. So I'll be starting with my front body sloper, which have been previously drafted. I'll be dropping a link in the description box on how to draft the basic bodies. Now the first thing I'm going to do here is to come down by 2 inches below the neck depth. My neck depth is usually 3 inches, so I'm coming down by 2 inches after the neck depth. Then along the shoulder line, I would go inward by ½ an inch and mark it down. Having done that, I'll be connecting the 2 points together with the help of my curve ruler. Okay, let me make use of my marker pen so that you can see it properly. Okay, now I'll go ahead and cut open this line towards the shoulder. You have to be careful while cutting so you don't cut it out accidentally. Then I'll simply slash this line. Okay, let me cut it well so that it will slash very well. Be careful while cutting it so it doesn't snip out completely. So I'm going to slash out this line. Then I would get another pattern sheet and place directly underneath. So I have to ensure that the gap between the slash line should measure 2 inches. And then I'll tape it down. Now, the next thing I'm going to be doing here is to raise my neckline. I'll be raising it up I'll get back to it. I raised up the neckline by 1½ inches. I kind of lost that clip, but I'll get back to it. So along this point now, from here, from the neck to the beginning of the slash line, I'm going to be joining it together like so. You can see that I'm using my curve ruler. Okay, so now this is where I'll be measuring 2 inches from that point down, because that is where I want my neckline. I use 2½ inches. I want my neckline to extend down there. Okay, now if you look at this point where I ended my slash, if you notice the shoulder looks a bit slanted, so I'm going to continue with the slant. I'll continue with that curve, drawing a curved line. Okay, and I'll ensure that that curved line should be at least, I'm going to measure it as 1½ inches. The 1½ inches is inclusive of that ½ inch that I had marked previously. Okay, it's inclusive of that ½ inch I had marked previously. All right, so now I'll be joining. Okay, let me blend that place because it looks kind of sharp. So I'm blending it here so that it moves smoothly on the shoulder. All right, you can see it now. So I'm going to be joining the neckline from the new shoulder tip to the neck depth, the new neck depth, or where the neck depth slashed to. I'm using my curve ruler to do this. Okay. So now that I've done this, this is how a typical built-up neckline looks like. However, there are several variations of a built-up neckline. Okay, you can make yours sharp just like how this is. You can also make your own rounded at the edge here. You could make it, to look kind of curvy at that point. So it all depends on your choice. Okay, for this video I'll be making a little keyhole detail from this point that I measured up to the tip of the neck here, and I don't want the neckline to get to the center, so I want to shift it away from the center. I'll be marking 1 inch from the end there. Okay, I came in by 1 inch, and I'll be connecting it to this 2.5 that I had marked earlier with the help of my French curve. This is just my preference, but if you want to follow the typical neckline, please feel free to do so. Okay, so I would make it slightly rounded along this area. I don't want it to be sharp, like so. So I'll simply redraw it to make it clearer. Don't forget to like this video. I appreciate all that you've been doing, and if it's your first time, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. So now I'll go ahead and I'll cut this out. So this is the built-up neckline for the front. Now we are going to work on the back. Alright guys, here is my back bodice which have been previously drafted. Now the first thing that I'm going to be doing here is to mark 1/2 inch away from the shoulder, just like what I did for the front pattern. And I'll mark it down. For me to get the built-up neckline, I have to attach a pattern sheet underneath. And I'll tape it down. Now, if you recall, I came here by 1/2 inch. Now, along the shoulder tip, the main shoulder tip, I'll square a line upward at 1.5 inches. I'll simply square a line 1.5 inches. Next, I'm going to draw a slanted line connecting the shoulder tip to this 1/2 inch that I had marked previously. This line should measure exactly 1.5 inches. So the next thing I ought to do here is to blend this line because it looks very sharp. I ought to blend it, but I'll get back to it later. Now along the center back on this neck region, I'll be raising it up. I'll be raising up the neck by 1 inch. You can make it 1.5 inches if you prefer. And then I'll be connecting the new shoulder tip to the new neck depth to form our new built-up neckline for the back. So now I'll come back to this shoulder. Remember I said that it is too sharp and I need to blend the curve so that it moves smoothly on the shoulder. So I'm going to be placing my curve ruler, trying to get the best position I can manage. Okay, I think I'm fine with this, and I would connect it gradually into the shoulder. Now I'll go ahead and cut it out, and then I'll show you guys. So here I have cut out the back, and I have brought the front bodies alongside for us to see. So this here is the place it should be placed on fold. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and we'll add seam allowance round our pattern sheet, round our pattern, and then along the center back I'll also be adding 1/2 inch allowance. I want to say something before I cut it out. Just a quick tip, okay, before I continue. Please ensure that you attach your fusible interface on the neckline of both your front and your back bodies. Along the neckline area, please attach a fusible interface. Your hair stay, your collar stay, whatever you use to make your neck stable, attach it so that you'll get the best results. If you cut your fabric and you do not add any interface, the neckline will not stand. It won't come out well, okay? So if you've watched to this level and you still not liked or you've still not subscribed, what are you waiting for? All right, so guys, I'm going to place it on my fabric now, attaching and placing it and also cutting it out with the seam allowance. And when I place it on the fabric and cut with the seam allowance, I'm going to show you the finished result for us to review. Wow, so this is the finished look of the neckline. You can choose to make your neckline come lower than this, or you can do the variation without this keyhole, the variation that is the typical built-up neckline. So this is the test fit and I am pleased with the results. Thank you for watching this far. I really appreciate. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until my next video, remain blessed. Bye bye.